you're watching this video, there's probably a good chance that you've identified some passive aggressive and sarcastic behaviors in yourself and you want to stop. I have been there before, and I will tell you how I stopped being passive aggressively sarcastic. Well, for the most part, I'm not perfect, obviously. But if you have not yet watched my first video on passive aggressive sarcasm, what it is and why we do it, pause this video right here. Go check out that other video. If we want to change behavior, we have to first understand where it's coming from and why we're doing it. So it's really important if you're serious about, you know what, I deserve better. I deserve to communicate in a more healthy way. I deserve to tell people how I really feel instead of being passive aggressive. If you're serious about it, pause this video right now. Go watch that first video so you can really understand where this is coming from and have some compassion for yourself. And then come back to this when you're ready to go. Okay, so how do you stop being passive aggressively sarcastic? I'm sharing these tips as tips that have helped me. This is how I stopped being passive aggressively sarcastic in most of my relationships over the last few years. Now, I'm not perfect, but I sure have come a very long way from what I used to be, and I'm pretty proud of how I'm able to handle situations now instead of just resorting to passive aggressive sarcasm. But these are the tools that have really drastically helped me improve my life and improve my relationships with my friends, family, and partner. Before we even get into like imagining any sort of situation, I want you right now to think of a phrase. Think of a phrase that you can repeat to yourself, remind yourself when you're in the heat of the moment and you want to say something passive aggressive sarcastic. Stop right now and think about why should you not be passive aggressive sarcastic? Think of something that can help you get grounded and can kind of trigger you to take a step back and to kind of breathe. So for me, this was, I'm worthy of having my feelings hurt. My goal is to be authentic with the people that I care about. A few other examples might be, I'm respecting my friendship by being honest with what's bothering me. Or I'm respecting my relationship by not playing mind games and being direct. You might say something like, it's up to me to communicate what's wrong, or people can't help me unless I'm honest about what's going on, or it's okay to be vulnerable. Right. So write down this phrase, one phrase. I know I gave a few different examples, but you just need to pick one thing or make it up on your own. One thing that you can remember to keep yourself grounded next time you feel inspired to say something passive aggressively sarcastic. Now, the next time you're in a situation where you feel yourself upset and getting like really ready to say something passive aggressive and sarcastic, and it's just like you're chomping at the bit to throw out some petty remark there, here's what you should do. Number one, take a deep breath. Seriously, don't skip this. Take a deep breath, take a step back, get some perspective. And the point of this, I know everybody and their mother says take a deep breath, but it's people say it because it's true. You need to put some distance between the thing that is upsetting you and your reaction, because in that space is where you can adjust things. It's where you can get some perspective and where you can actually gain some control of how you're going to respond instead of just letting it fall back on old habits, which you're not very happy with if you're watching this video. So step one, take a deep breath. Take a beat. Get yourself a moment. You don't have to respond right away. And remind yourself of your phrase. So think of the phrase, think of your intention. My goal is to be as authentic as possible with this family member. I value this friendship. This relationship is worth more to me than my pettiness. Whatever you need to say to yourself, remember that phrase. Once you've had a chance to catch your breath and remind yourself of your phrase and get some perspective, like take a step back. Step two, figure out what's really going on here. Are you feeling disrespected? Are you feeling frustrated, angry, sad, excluded, rejected, like embarrassed, like somebody made fun of you, like someone's not taking you seriously? What's really going on here? And if your first answer is anger, I challenge you to look a little deeper, because anger is always just hurt in disguise. It's easier to feel angry than it is to feel sad. So figure out what's making you feel angry. And there's probably a feeling under there that feels even ickier that you're trying to hide with anger. So figure out what's really going on here. Figure out what's really bothering you. And step three, once you've taken a breath, reminded yourself of your phrase, and figured out what's really going on here, what's really bothering you, give your feedback. I'm not saying confront somebody. I'm specifically saying give your feedback instead of saying confront the person. Because it really helped me to treat this as feedback. Think about how often we give and receive feedback at work. It's just part of business, is we expect people to tell us when we're doing something incorrectly or when we're doing something inefficiently or when we can improve something. And we also expect people to be open to when we give them feedback. When we say, hey, I noticed you did this, but it's actually like, this is actually how we're supposed to be doing it or whatever. So feedback is such a normal part of our work. But in relationships, it suddenly gets like kind of like icky and like ooh, this is uncomfortable. I don't telling somebody that they hurt your feelings is suddenly like, ooh, I don't want to confront somebody. I don't want to be like aggressive about it. Think about it as feedback instead. It's not confronting somebody about like, hey, you pissed me off. It's giving feedback about something that's bothering you and you're addressing it so that you can improve the relationship. Yeah, that's freaking great. That's not confronting somebody about their personality or something that you really fucking hate about them. It's not confronting somebody about their personality or telling them they're awful. It's identifying something that is bothering you about the relationship and addressing it as feedback so that both people can move forward together in a way that is better for the relationship. This doesn't have to be a huge confrontation. This doesn't have to, you don't have to all sit around a circle and sing Kumbaya. You don't have to derail the conversation or have a huge intervention. It doesn't have to be so dramatic. I think that's why people are so conflict averse, is because they feel like as soon as they say what's wrong, it's going to be like this huge conflict, and that's really scary. It doesn't have to be like that. Treat it as feedback and take the blame and drama out of it by using I feel statements. And I think we all learn these in kindergarten, but it's when you do XYZ, I feel ABC. So instead of saying, you're always on your phone, or you're always late, or you obviously don't care about me, saying, when you start scrolling on your phone in the middle of a conversation, I feel like you don't care about what I'm saying. Or when you cancel plans at the last minute, I feel like our friendship isn't a priority to you. Or when you are late to our plans, I feel like my time is less valuable than yours, and that hurts my feelings, right? It's taking all the drama out of the statement. It's taking the blame out of the person, and you're not saying like this person sucks. You're saying this behavior that they're doing hurts you. You're not blaming the entire person. You're just focusing on the behavior and how it makes you feel. And that's much easier to handle than trying to like, oh, you always wrong me and you make me feel disrespected always. No, it's the specific behavior and what it makes you feel. And I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be hard when you first start it. It's not going to be comfortable. You're going to trip up on your words, probably. I mean, if you don't, that's great. But like, I tripped up on my words. I felt like I wasn't able to articulate things. I still got sassy and passive aggressive afterwards if I wasn't able to really communicate things. This is going to take some time. You're probably used to responding in one way, and now you're trying to teach your brain to respond in a healthier way, and that takes some time, right? You're smart, but your brain's probably stuck in the same habits, and we're just teaching our brain, we're reprogramming those habits to be more constructive, to be less reactive and more a little bit introspective. Take a breath, figure out what's going on, and share your feedback. We're reprogramming our brain, so it'll take a little bit of time before this is like something that comes really naturally or easy to you. So be patient with yourself. And secondly, just a quick reminder that we can't always get what we can't always get what we want. Even if we do our best in communicating how we feel. Even when we just like put ourselves out there and we're totally honest and we were like so proud of ourselves because we didn't say that petty thing and we were honest about our feelings instead, we don't always get what we want. People might disagree with your expectations of them, or they might want to continue with the plan that they had originally, or you might just not see eye to eye, or they might do the thing that pissed you off in the first place again, on accident, on purpose, whatever. But that's fine. It's okay if things don't work out perfectly, if the problems aren't resolved perfectly, or if things happen in the future again. It's not about change. It's not about being perfect. It's about learning how to better communicate and how to trust people more, and having a higher standard for yourself and having more confidence in yourself, because you're better able to communicate what you need. You know, might not always get what you want anyway, but it's still worth trying, because you're teaching yourself that your experiences are valuable, and that any problems that you have are worth discussing, and that the relationships that you have are worth kind of putting yourself out there and being vulnerable for if something's actually wrong. And that in itself, that teaching yourself how to communicate better and trust yourself more and trust other people more, man, that's worthwhile, even if you don't always get what you want, which you won't anyway. At least you'll have tried, and at least you'll have built better habits for yourself, and taught yourself to expect more from yourself. Okay, that's my spiel. If you have somebody in your life who is passive aggressive, like, okay, Tally, I am no longer passive aggressive because I am awesome, but there is this friend or is this family member that just always makes snide remarks, and I don't really know how to deal with them, go ahead and watch the next video, which is going to be about how to deal with someone who is being passive aggressively sarcastic. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Hit that like button. Leave me a comment down below. Oop, hit my chair. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you liked. Let me know what problems you have, or what situations. Like, let me know what you're struggling with, so I know how to make this content better in the future. And hit subscribe if you would like to see this kind of content about personal development and relationships in the future. See you in the next one.